in the last sort of year, we've grown 20x. We've processed over 1 million visas, and we have started selling products just beyond visas as well.
I think I remember when we first met you, you had this very simple motto: I will make international travel frictionless. I'm just super, super proud of how Atlas has stuck to that motto and actually has just expanded the offerings. First of all, congratulations on the fundraise. We are excited to lead the round again with you, doubling down on our conviction in Atlas and you, and it's only grown stronger over time.
Thank you so much, Mayank. I'm excited to share our journey and work on the next chapter for Atlas along with Elevation and you, and very grateful for your continuous support on Atlas.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey over the last 18 months since we invested. I think I remember when we first met you, you had this very simple motto: I will make international travel frictionless. And I think I'm just super, super proud of how Atlas has stuck to that motto and actually has just expanded the offerings. You started out as a platform that helps process visas faster, especially for people with weaker passports like India. But over time, Atlas has grown to become a much wider proposition as well. So just talk us through how the last 18 months have been, what's been the journey like, what has the company done?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think at a high level, right, the gap that we identified in this whole visa process was that there was a lot of uncertainty, right? People did not know when they'll get the visa, whether they'll get the visa, and their entire trip dependent on it, right? And if you think about the entire travel stack, this is the only thing that you pay for, but you don't know when and whether you'll get it, right? And we worked on sort of solving this uncertainty by basically flipping it and said that how do we make it the most certain experience on earth, right? And what we did was we built a value proposition of on-time visas and an entire supply chain infrastructure to sort of support that. What that means is that anytime you are applying for any visa, you'll get the exact date and time when you'll get the visa, right? Sort of this value proposition struck a chord with sort of our audience, and in the last sort of year or so, we've grown 20x. We've processed over 1 million visas, right? And we have started selling products just beyond visas as well, because for an Indian traveler, visa is sort of the first step after they decide where to go. But we also realized that, look, people around the world need visas, and so recently we expanded internationally and are getting a lot of traction there. And then now we're focusing in on the Middle East because it's a big market, very immigrant heavy, so a lot of people need visas, right? But more importantly, I think what we've been very, very focused on is making sure that we build a platform that consumers love, that our users love, and to that end, we built a lot of things over the last 12 months that you will not find anywhere, and that just add a lot of delight. Whether it's sort of like for example, one of the things that we've done, which we sacrifice a lot of revenue, is if we believe that you're going to get rejected for whatever reason, we don't let you check out, and we just say, look, these are the reasons we don't think you'll get approved. We don't want your money, right? And because our philosophy is to do right by the customer, right? It's not to do things short term and get transactions. And and then we continue to stay focused on just growing our offerings, growing our main core visa business, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, I think it's been a very impressive journey. And if I look back, I think two things really stand out for me about Atlas. One, you've always been very consumer first. The example that you gave, which is about, we'll tell you don't apply for a visa because you're not going to get it, don't pay us. And I think also what really stood out was how you went about in the Golden Boy campaign. We didn't get the gold, but I still stand by the offering. I think that was just a very, very wonderful gesture. That's why you have 1 million happy travelers who've used Atlas. Second thing, the international business, to me, it shows that you're building a global best-in-class product out of India. A lot of people ask these questions. Can a globally best-in-class consumer product get built out of India? Atlas is a prime example of that happening. These people have access to the best products, but they are still using Atlas. So I think it speaks volumes about what we are building. So now, just looking ahead, Mohak, what's in store for the next 2, 3 years? What's Atlas working on?
Absolutely. So, Mayank, I think, as you know, one of our philosophies is that we only build 10-star experiences, right? So, we want to continue making it supremely easy for sort of like, for people to apply for visas, right? And then we're trying to like solve for every part of the journey, right? Be it interview preparation to getting your visas on time to making sure, right? But beyond visas, we're actually launching new products, travel insurance, forex, eSIMs, right? And it's not those canonical just upsells where you're just going to have to check a box. We've actually reimagined a lot of these products from the ground up, right? For example, in our travel insurance product that we've sort of worked with sort of approved regulators to make is just how you don't have to read a very long boring policy, or how if your flight is delayed you get an instant claim, and so on and so forth, right? A lot of exciting products planned to sort of help travelers across their trip, over the next 2 years, as well as just growing internationally and like expanding into even more countries, and sort of as you said, right, building in India but for the world.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for sharing all of that, Mohak. That's a very exciting roadmap ahead for Atlas. And I think there's a lot of potential to help people travel better, easier, faster as they aspire to see the world. To all our viewers, next time you're traveling internationally, give Atlas a spin. You'd love it. Thank you. Thank you, Mohak.
Thank you.